Hi, welcome back to the Beginner's Guide to Hosting a Website. In this video, I'm going to walk you through your new DreamHost account, and we're just going to talk about the different options that are available and kind of get familiarized with them. And then the following video from this, I'm going to start talking about FTP, and we'll see how that works and how to get you started with that. So let's just go ahead and jump over here. Once you've logged in, you're going to see your dashboard. Let's just click on Domains, though. So we saw this before, manage domains, and that's obviously where we can add a new domain name that we've registered out on the web on GoDaddy, or maybe we want to register one here. And you can also access the domain names that you've already added to your account and make changes to them within this window. So as you can see, we have some different options here for each domain. There's DNS, visit, web FTP, FTP, add IP, all of this good stuff. So what all this means is you can tweak the DNS files of your account using DNS, for example. You could click here and just visit your website, and then we can do web FTP. So if you don't have an FTP client, which we'll be talking about in the next video, you can use the web FTP system. So let's just click on that really quick. So this is just kind of a cool free thing that they give you, and you still have to plug in the information like you would with an FTP server, but it's essentially like having a little or FTP client. I mean, it's like having a little FTP client without having to download and install one. So it's pretty cool. I prefer to use the client. As you can see, I have one right here. It's down at the bottom. I guess you can't see it on the screen, but we'll see it in a little bit. It's called FileZilla, and yeah. So the other options are FTP, which is just a straight up FTP link. So it would open it in my browser. And so that would be if I want to download something through FTP, but not really for uploading and things like that. So I generally don't use that option. And we talked about in a previous video about having a specific IP address assigned to your hosting account, and how with shared hosting you're sharing an IP address with many different websites, and that's not a problem, you know, no big deal. But if your site's beginning to grow and maybe becoming more corporate and official, and you need your own IP address for whatever reason, or you have an IT person that said, hey, we need our own IP address because we're going to start hosting our own email or things like that, then this is where you would do that. And then speaking of email, over here on the very far right, you can see there's an email column, and it says 0 addresses. So I can click on that, and if I do, it allows me to add different email addresses for any one of my domains. So I can create a new email address. I can create a bulk forwarding only address for a domain. So if I want to have like a capture all address or something like that, all that sort of thing. And it's all built in. So DreamHost gives you all that for free. There's free email service is included with every domain you get, and you can create as many email addresses as you want with your domain. It's pretty cool. And then speaking of that, now you can see that it's redirected us to the mail dropdown. So we were in the domains section. And there's a lot of other cool little things you can look at here, but we're not going to talk about really any of those at this point. And so we're now in the mail section. We're doing manage mail. You can see I have some Gmail managed domains. So back when Google was allowing you to do their Google services for free, I had a lot of those assigned to different domains of mine. Nowadays they charge you, so I generally don't use that for this anymore. But these are still happen to be set up, and yeah, these domains I just don't use. In fact, some of these domains I don't have anymore. It's just I need to clean up my system, and I haven't done that yet. But then there's also an option called Webmail. So if I click on that, then it takes me to this cool little screen that has a webmail URL and a secure webmail URL for every domain that I have mail set up on. So I can click on any one of these and it will open up a webmail screen. I know I own this guy. Okay, so I've gone to this one, webmail.mylittleubuntuguide.com, and it took me here, so I can actually just type in my email name and put in my password, and I have webmail. I can access my webmail just like I would a Gmail account or something like that. And of course, I can also access that from my phone. I can configure POP settings or IMAP settings for my phone or my mobile device, or even Outlook Exchange or Outlook, Microsoft Outlook, or programs like that. You know, that like Mac Mail or whatever program you're using, you can set those up to use the mail system also. So. And then there's a few other more advanced options that you really don't have to worry about at this point, like custom MX records and things like that. So let's just jump to the next one. So the next option is goodies, And here we have, you can have SQL databases. You have as many SQL databases as you want, or I should say MySQL databases. You can have as many of those as you want, and if you're using that for some specific purpose for your website, totally cool. Or if your developer needs access to that, you can always create or give them access to this, and they can create a new database within here. And then there's a lot of other cool little things. But let's click on one-click installs. This is one of my favorite features. So one-click installs allows you to install different services or different types of sites onto your domain name, like WordPress, for example. So I can just click on this WordPress guy, choose the domain that I want to install to. And if I just want it straight on the website, I leave this blank. Otherwise, if I want like a subfolder, I could say like something that's going to be a subfolder name, let's just say more info, for example. I would leave it at automatically create database, and then deluxe install just means it's going to put some of the default information and themes into that WordPress install for me. And then I just simply click install it for me now. And wait for a second, it'll come back and say it's going to take a few minutes. You'll get an email when it's finished. And it's as simple as that. There it goes. So it's going to say it'll be available at this website within 10 minutes. And you'll receive an email from us with final instructions to configure your new software. And it also tells me the name of the database that's going to be associated with that. So that's probably the easiest way to install WordPress ever. Super cool. And you can do that with lots of different software programs, like web programs, as you can see here. So there's, I can do it with Joomla, some of these other like project things. I think OpenVBX, that's kind of cool. I've actually used this before. It's like a Google Analytics type software, and bulletin board software. So lots of cool stuff I can just really just plug and play right onto my website. I just click it, install, and then go to the site and finish the configuration, and I'm done. And if you want to learn more about that, I do have a course called WordPress for Beginners. It's a free course. You can check it out, and I walk you through this process of doing that in more detail. So that's a great thing. I love that about the goodies section. VPS is for virtual private server, which I don't have. And so I'm not really worried about that, but I could upgrade to that if I wanted to, of course. And they have dedicated servers that I could upgrade to, cloud services that I could subscribe to, which I don't. And then my user accounts, where I can manage all the user accounts that I have to access my different websites. And then billing and account information and any kind of support that you might need. And that's pretty much it. That's really all you need to know about your account. You know, the basics of kind of poking around, navigating around, but enjoy it. Like, take some time and just kind of have fun poking around, seeing what things do. Maybe install WordPress on one of your into a subfolder of your site and play around with that. And in the next video, we're going to talk about FTP and uploading files to your site and accessing them and things like that. And so I will see you in the next video.